DC Boxing Legend Podcast. 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 Home of the champion.
The Second Wind Sports Media and DMV Boxing Legend would like to introduce to you our new sponsor. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, El Paso Mexican Restaurant, located at 6151 Richmond Highway, Alexandria, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, we have El Paso Mexican Restaurant. Also, if you're looking to pregame every fight night, amateur or pros, come out to El Paso Restaurant. They will guarantee you a discount. All you have to do is say you that DMV Boxing Legend and the Second Wind Sports Media sent you, you will get a discount.
Greetings, greetings, greetings. How's everybody doing? This is your guy, DAWUD, the beloved one, MAHDI, aka MAHDI Justice, here as a new host for the DC Legend, a former amateur boxer that participated in many events, travel, and respected among my peers. And I'd like to thank my good brother, Rashid Hammond, one of my boxing brother fraternity. And so we getting it on in. This is a new turnaround. And I'd like to thank Rashid Hammond for preserving DC Boxing Legend, for everybody to have a platform, because a lot of times if you're not a famous boxer or a world title, this is for everyone that participated in the DC Boxing Legend, that lace up the glove and put it on the line, from golden gloves, silver gloves, open class, novice. You have it, and you name it, and we got it. But this is something that we'll be working on. We'll be expecting a lot of guests. We will have different type of guests that will appear on the network and talk about DC Boxing Legend. Also, I like to, if y'all can give Bubba Rashid, raw vegan, you having problems in your relationships with your female or your wife, he has some incredible products for you to try to get your mojo back. And so you can get that winning edge, even weightlifting and all that. You can reach out to Raw Vegan, Rashid Hammond. Have some great organic product. Myself, I am a certified life coach. Also, I deal with anti-bullying. And you can also reach out to me and you can talk to me. I'm someone that's very resourceful, and you can reach out to me as well. And my website is http semicolon https semicolon // MAHDI MAHDI .site SITE MAHDI Justice. I use a lot of boxing for help in the industry, for anti-bullying, because boxing has done a lot for me. It has done and prepared and gave me the edge to be a gladiator. And so I'm here to talk about the DC Boxing Legend. And also, we'd like to give a shout out to Latasha Washington, one of my old stablemates from the original Headbanger, that is now the PVA president. And so I watch her come up and done some extraordinary things in boxing. And so she's she was a very good amateur boxer too as well. So she's not just getting into a position. She also participated and put the iron hammer on people. So I like to give her a shout out. And one of my old stablemate is Boogie, Patrick Harris. Boogie starred in Creed 1 and 2. And PVA is a very colorful, a very exciting organization. myself participating in the PBA. We have some of the dynamic boxers in the history of this amateur thing. You got Mark Johnson, you got Sean Bay Mitchell, you have Chop Chop Corley, you have so many. It's James Harris, James Baker. We had so many, and we lost a lot of fighters due to the street era. But as coming up, when you look at the boxing, I remember back in the 90s and the early 90s when we used to take boxing gloves and go to different neighborhoods. Do y'all remember that? We used to go to different neighborhoods and go and spar different people. And that was before I really formally knew how to fight the way that I was taught how to fight. Um, we used to go to different neighborhoods and stuff. And so a lot of things is changing. We have a lot of gunplay now, especially in the DC area and DC and outskirts like PG County and stuff like that. And so we got away from the gladiator sports that I truly love and put a lot of sweat and tears into this. And boxing, we can do a lot with boxing because boxing has done a lot for me. It transformed me into something that most boxers that you know today are usually gentlemen. They are usually mild mannered men, and they are trained to go. But this will boxing also have that edge on a lot of people because if you a boxer could run this country if he was qualified like in doing the business or he had a background in politics and stuff like that because the pores of a boxer is something that's very incredible. Boxing have done a lot, and it's a very popular sport, and it been very popular. I know we have so many different incredible fighters from around the era. You have Tank. We watch him go up as a little boy and mature as a man. We have the Peterson brothers. They are another one that's was one of my stable mates as well. The Peterson brother, I watched him doing sit-ups on Coach Berry back and exercising and watching him. Watching me spar and stuff, and they grew up to fantastic young men and very productive, as well as watch Rashid and his brother Hakeem go up and do the thing. We travel. Um, I participated in the Ohio State Fair in the early 90s and made it to the championship. Rashid Hammond went up there and took care of business and won the tournament. And people looking at him, man, he was knocking out giants, and the guy was much bigger and taller than him, but he had a heart of a lion. And so we have so many great fighters, so many. I can't even name everybody, but if I forget anyone, this is just an introduction into what DC Boxing Legend is about. We have to give a shout out to Gene Hughes, um, my former elder. Gene Hughes had Midtown, and Midtown brought me into this stable with Greg Talbot. They brought me in under their wings in the Tutelage and let me come in, and that's where my journey began. Going into boxing to learn how to box the correct way. I took some butt whooping too, and I'm not gonna lie. I took a lot of butt whooping, and guys humble me, but I stayed the course. And what I did was I continued to still continue to persevere and move forward, even though I didn't have all of the faculties and the skills, but I had the heart of a lion, and I stayed in the race and I stayed in it, and I'm so glad that I stayed in the race. And I also like to give a shout out to someone that had also a hand on me is John Stewart. I love this guy, and he took some time to help me. But I like to give a shout out to all my comrades and all my boxing friends. I met some great guys, man. A lot of people live all over the country. we still are cool because we share these moments. And this was boxing was about. Man, boxing have done a lot. It really have done a lot for me. And as well, it helped me in my personal life. Outside in the real world, it taught me how to protect myself as one. And then number two, it also taught me how to have a will of a champion. No matter how bad life gets, I have in my heart that I can overcome it. And DC Boxing Legend is a great spot, and we have to commend Rashid for keeping this going, because it's so many people that we would love to hear your stories and some of your greatest fears and your greatest wins, and how you done things and where you come from in life and what have boxing have done for you. um, for me myself, I like I say, boxing have done a lot of wonderful things for me, and to this day I love it. And I think boxing, like I say again, boxing have done more for me than I've done more for boxing. I love it. And I also teach people, we can use boxing to help your children out in anti-bullying. They don't necessarily have to be a fighter, but I can give them the edge, and that's something that a child will need, the edge, the belief system. And so this is what it's about. This is what it's about. DC Boxing Legend. I couldn't say it any more or any less. And I look back in the DC Boxing Legend, and it makes you want to tear up a little bit. You see a lot of old films and some of the old coaches that's not here anymore. And I'm glad that I got a chance to actually be involved with something of this magnitude, because boxing is something about it. It's not like any other sport. You can't play boxing, and it's not like any other sport. Like you can tag team, you can clap somebody's hand, and somebody could jump in the ring for you. If you haven't done your due diligence, if you haven't did your exercise, your running, if you haven't sparred enough, if you didn't have the decision making to be able to go over the game plan, if you can't listen to your coaches, then those are the things that will help you to be very up on your game, your fight game. I mean, I love everything of it. I love a lot of things about boxing. Boxing has truly been a blessing. Now we want to get into the PBA. Back to the PBA. PBA have created many colorful champions, many lucrative champions. PBA, we all participated in this organizations, and there's so many great champions done came through PBA. And PBA is one of the toughest division, I think, in the United States. It produced a lot of great amateurs, and I have to take my hat off to a lot of great guys. This is a platform for all of us, so we need to take care of this network and participate and get involved. We'll be calling out certain boxers, not certain boxers. Excuse me. Let me apologize. Not certain boxers, because this is not favoritism here. Whoever wants to participate and you participating in boxing, you wrap those hands up, you got in that square circle. This is a home for you. So I want you to get really comfortable and come on. And some people may be a little shy, but you wasn't shy when you was in that ring throwing them things up. So don't be shy here. You have a home here, and we here to embrace all of our boxing brothers, like a boxing fraternity, a boxing family. And once you get involved with something of this magnitude, we will. It's almost like we are family for life, with a different mother and a different father. And so this is what boxing is about. Boxing, it really takes you into a new height. Just think about all the things about a boxer. You're eating, you're blocking out worldly goods, you're doing, you really sacrificing the living that you could be when everybody was partying and everybody was having fun. You was making weight, and making weight is not really easy like people think. 5 pounds, 3 pounds, what is 5 pounds, 3 pounds, or 10 pounds? Losing weight is not that easy. And I was just so fortunate that I wasn't a real big guy, so I can hang around that my fight limit, so I will be ready to go. And boxing is a relationship. It's something that's always going to be inside of your spirit. You know how us boxers be when we go in the store and we get that move. Sometimes we start shadow boxing for no apparent reason, just in the store, just shadow boxing and throwing them things out. Bah, 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 bah. And this is something that I never thought I can or will that I could participate in boxing. I remember me going and a cousin of mine took me down to Midtown, and I knew I looked in there and I seen everybody hitting the heavy bags and stuff, and they was more seasoned, and I was a newbie. I started boxing a little later than most people. I started boxing at right out of high school at 18 years old. And so I knew that I had to catch up fast. So I had to take the time and learn the craft. But like I say, I got the dust whoop. I got the dust knocked out of me, and I'm not ashamed to speak on that because we all have that turning point in boxing, and I love this sport, and this sport has done a lot for me, and it done a lot for a lot of people. This sport is it's not always the most safest, but it will teach you something in this boxing game. This boxing game will teach you about life, and it would give you a lot of great point of views about different things. And so getting into this boxing life, and I remember growing up in Washington D.C. At one time, DC had a lot of boxing gyms all over. You can cross over 3, 4 streets and it'd be a gym. 3, 4 streets over and be a gym. Gyms everywhere. So many gladiators all up and down Northwest, DC, Northeast. And we also have to give a shout out to another older veteran, Ham Johnson, Ham AC, who have um, had a lot of great fighters, and he had a champion and Mark Johnson, and a very competitive son and James Harris, who was some of DC great fighters. There's so many fighters that I can name a lot. And rest in peace to Nathaniel Lincoln, man. I also share tournaments with him as well. And yeah, Brian Crum, Professor Brian Crum. And we also like to also thank Seven Jackson and his father, Bubba Jackson, who also had a great coaching career. Seven Jackson father, Bubba Jackson, and it's so many fighters that have put in the work. And we also out of representing PBA also. We like to give a shout out to Jamal Harvey, who represented PBA. Also, Oxen Hill Boxing that went to the Olympics, and he been pursuing this journey for a long time. At featherweight, we have to give shout outs to these young men. Um, I've been up the way for a while, but I've been uh, looking at boxing here and there with the amateur. So I'm back on the scene now. So Rashid Hammond reached out to me and talked to me. I also have a podcast too called MAHDI Justice on Spotify. So please go on and listen to those um, podcasts because I have some uplifting words of encouragement to help you to move on and challenge this adversity and overcoming obstacle and the will to win. And also like to also thank I met Rashid's father and rest in peace to the big Hammond, brother Calvin Hammond, that lost his life to cancer. Rashid Hammond father, a professor, um, man, and knew the game of boxing and like the back of his hand. We'd like to give a shout out to one of my boxing fraternity brother, Ernesto Rodriguez, for turning the Hillcrest legacy back around and having a world champion and being a world champion coach. He solidified himself as being a world champion and started from the scratch. And he's building the organization back up as well. We have no excuse. Um, we look at no excuse how it was built from the ground up from Boogaloo first, and he passed the torch on to the other coach Roach to have a world champion out of no excuse and some very great fighters. We got Ben and then we have the younger Roach that made it to Olympic trials and things of that nature. Jordan Roach, and it's don't please don't get offended because I'm going off the top of my head, and I just been keeping my eyes on the fight game. We're about to take a break, a 30-second commercial break. Thank you for staying tuned and watching DC Boxing Legend. We'll be right back at you in a few minutes.
Get ready for the Beltway Boxing Extravaganza on September 14th at the Sports and Learning Complex in Landover, Maryland. Witness talented amateur boxers in action, showcasing their skills and passion in the ring. Doors open at 4 p.m. with the first bout at 5 p.m. Special guest appearances by local talent. Don't miss this electrifying event. Reserve your seats now and be part of a night filled with excitement and unforgettable moments. Contact Special Touch Promotions at www.beltwayboxing.com.
If you're looking for a way to power up your nutrients with a plant-based protein powder, then raw vegan plant-based protein is the perfect choice. This vegan protein is packed with essential nutrients to help you stay energized and healthy. With plant-based protein powder becoming increasingly popular amongst health-conscious individuals, it's no surprise that raw vegan plant-based proteins has become a leader in the industry. Whether you're an athlete or just looking to increase your daily protein intake, this vegan protein powder can help you reach your goals. Visit rawvegan.com. Again, rawvegan.com.
Back at you, MAHDI Justice, DAWUD, beloved one. Today we just going on off the top of my dome, and we are talking about some great moments in DC Boxing Legend, and I'm just discussing the direction we'll be going in. We will have many guests that will be coming on to be interviewed to showcase their talent and tell us some of their great moments in life. Um, I was fortunate to be able to compete with some of these great guys and sparred with some of these great guys and been taught by some of these great coaches. I had the pleasure to also train with and got a lot of point of view from Gary, Big Gary Russell, rest in peace, that have some great pedigrees in his sons. World champion Gary Russell Jr., his sons, both of them, all just about all of them won the Golden Glove, the whole thing. And so I have been very fortunate to communicate and to be in the presence of these people. I also have to give a shout out and say rest in peace to, we call him B. Scott. Beethoven, Scotland, was a very colorful fighter. And when I first came in and seen him at round one, and I was like, wow, man, this guy is really putting the work in. And he was fun to watch. He was very entertaining, excuse me. But we have to say rest in peace to him as well. Um, I have come across a lot of great um, boxing fraternity that I must say that I am cool with today. A lot of us on Facebook, and like I say, Rashid Hammond have, it was founded with another one with Ray Massey, but with Rashid Hammond. But Rashid Hammond has done a great thing about preserving this. This is something. This is our platform. This is our home. So I want y'all to feel comfortable to come here. Rashid Hammond has made this platform for us. You don't have to be the world champion of the world and the one that get talked about, but all of y'all story count. All of y'all are part of our life. Anybody that glove up, that walk down that Hillcrest tournament, Golden Glove, coming out that dome, making that weight on Saturday morning, competing in that Saturday night, novice, open class. We put on our gladiators, warrior style mentality. We was coming to take care of business. Some of those moments give me chill to this day when I think about that. As we grow a little older and older, this is a part of our life. We can't escape this. This is part of our destination. Once you're a fighter, you are a fighter forever. It's not, you're not a fighter no more. You may not be a fighter no more in the pretense of just competing anymore, but you wear it with a badge of honor on your shoulder, and the spirit, whether you start to get gray hair, it's something about boxers that put it on the line, and I love the energy, and I'm glad that I came and participated and have some of my great moments and things, the traveling, the competing, to better yourself and work hard to accomplish things of being a champion, even putting that blood, sweat, and tears, and carry on to being a father, carry on into being a very good person, a good man, a good woman. We have some very great fighters in Kia, one of my other stablemate. These they was there, Latasha. They was there before there was a Muhammad Ali daughter, Layla Ali. These were the Alis of our time, to see them to compete and do some extraordinary things. And I'm just so fascinated by just talking about this, because boxing is life, and it's a life, and a lot of times people, we have put our life on the line too as well. It's a dangerous sport. It's a very dangerous sport, and it's a very lonely sport too as well. because when you winning, everyone is around. But when you lose, it's just you and your coach, and you thinking about what happened and what went wrong. How could I have done what? Why did I didn't actually do the things that I was destined to do in the fight? And sometimes the guy outthink us, and sometimes we outthink the guy that we was fighting or the opponent. And so this is a platform for us. As I must say, come home to DC Boxing Legend. Let it be an honor for us to interview you. Let it be an honor. I love it. This is a home. This is a platform for us. In the near future, Rashid and I, we discussed about maybe throwing a cabaret or doing some kind of meeting of all the boxers in one area, in one arena. We are looking for this. We're looking to do something like this. Maybe a drive to support each other and business aspect. It's a lot of things that we can build off of. And I'm so delighted. I'm so delighted about this platform, DC Boxing Legend. I can't even um, think of a better idea than come home to DC Boxing Legend. This is a home for us. And I'm going to say this over and over again until it sticks into people's head. This is a link. This is something for us. This is something for us. So please join us. We're about to go back on to another commercial break. Stay tuned. The champ is here.
This episode have been brought to you by Raw Vegan Plant-Based Protein Powder, the undisputed champion of plant-based protein powder. I got mine. It's time for you to get yours. Visit rawvegan.com.
Excellent as always. Um, Rashid is an entrepreneur, and this brother, he gives out a lot of joy, and you have an example of a father, a husband, and a businessman. And so we have all kind of examples. This is something this network he held on for so long, and he preserved this DC Boxing Legend. So I want y'all to get with us. Get with us. Come out here and tell us about some of your highs, some of your lows. We can't always have victories, but the victory is getting into the ring itself. The victory is lacing them up and getting into the ring and letting it go. Learning a skill that can help you in life, that can help you to defend yourself and fight correctly. You have done a lot. When you think about this boxing and you gear up and you put this boxing on and the headgear on, man, that's where the first day of your journey began. Learning how to throw that left hook or that right hook, or if you southpaw, that right jab. This is it. We all family. We're in the boxing fraternity. Grudge matches and all. And now we see one another. We just dap each other up and hug. But back then, it was no love. It was just all brute. We coming, we coming to get it in. I don't even want to sit next to you. We just sound the bell off and let's go. I'm coming for you. You coming for me. we're not gonna sugarcoat that. But as we get older, as older men, it's very good mutual respect for one another. We sit back and we laugh about the old times, and this is something right here, DC Boxing Legend. As I said over and over again, and I keep saying it over again, and I'm gonna keep saying it until the show is over. This is a place for us, so don't hesitate. Come on here and let's build. Let's go and talk about some of these victories. Let's talk about some of these things. Let's talk about behind the scene when some of you probably was even struggling. Probably some people was probably homeless or leaving a shelter, but coming into these gyms, man, and had dreams, and it turned to another thing, and it helped you out in life. Let's talk about it. This is a platform for us. DC Boxing Legend, the real gladiators, the real gladiators. You can't play boxing. You can't play boxing. You can play a lot of other sports, but you can't play boxing. And I am so delighted. I'm delighted. I am very appreciative of this network. So before we end this live, I want to keep saying this over and over again. Come to us, please. Let us interview you. Tell us something about what sparked you and gave the interest to box. Was it because you was getting bullied, or you were just curious, or you had a boxing idol that you want to pursue? Let us know. Let us know. Let us know about your experience in boxing. This is your guy coming live from you at the DC Boxing Legend, where Real Gladiators was and is created. I'm your guy, DAWUD, the beloved one, MAHDI, aka MAHDI Justice, certified life coach, to motivate you, to help you get over your obstacles, to bring the best out of you, to find your God-given talent, and so you can move forward in life. And shout out to my boxing fraternity brother, Rashid, raw vegan. Please support this brother, because this brother is a backbone and it's a trailblazer to keep this going. And he's doing it with love and passion. And when he reached out to me, we've been talking about this, but everything is with timing. And he told me, "Dow, will you come on and be the next host?" And I said, yes. I couldn't turn it down by no means, because my brother reached out to me to do this. I was game. This week we couldn't really get the guests because it was kind of like going through it. We was going through it, and we here now. We here now. So I am the new host for the DC Boxing Legend. Peace out. Stay strong. And don't let life beat you up.
DC Boxing Legend Podcast. 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 DC boxing legend.